Jai Sri Narayan. I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagat Guru Sudarshan Acharya Ji Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi. And I pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. I welcome all of you physically here at the Sri Narayan Dham on the 5th day of the Krishna Janma Astami festivals held here at the Sri Narayan Dham in Durban, South Africa. Welcome Lord Sri Krishna, Radharani, the Gopis, the Gomatas, the Devis and Devtas, all that were involved in this great Leela that took place at the end of Dwapara Yuga on this earth, just over 5,000 years ago. I welcome all of you that's watching this discourse and the program on live feed, locally, nationally, and internationally. And I welcome in advance those that's going to be watching this discourse on YouTube and when it is posted subsequently in the various groups from around the world. So, today we're going to discuss Lord Sri Krishna, spirituality, and alcohol. And because alcohol is a spirit, isn't it? And don't you think we should discuss Lord Sri Krishna, spirituality, and alcoholic beverages? Sita, that university you went to, did they discuss spirituality like this? Okay. Again, our topic for discussion, I'm not referring to anyone specific on the Sri Narayan Dham. So nobody should get excited. Okay? This topic is relevant 2 years ago in this period. I discussed on Krishna Janmashtami week, Shemita, I discussed rotten meat. I discussed rotten meat. And I proved the rotten meat theory. So similarly, I'm discussing 2 years later the cousin of meat. The cousin of meat, alcohol. So let's start with alcohol and self-realization. You ever thought of alcohol and self-realization in one sentence? Let's talk about alcohol and self-realization. And we're going to use the body concept now when we're discussing alcohol. So the self is the body you. When we're discussing this alcohol, we're using the body you concept. So the body you and alcohol. Alright? So there are How many types of alcohol? Beer, wine, vodka, cane, whiskey, brandy. Count my fingers.
6.
Dana, how many types? 6. And then when we mix them up, we get many other types. Martini. Any other types I'm missing out, Sita? Marula, Sun, ciders.
Cosmos.
Okay, that was before my time. Oh, sorry, after my time. Okay? You sure you're enjoying this discussion? You can see yourself standing on the last step of a bus with a beer bottle in your hand and waving to all your friends in Springtown as Reed Bank is going up. Kishore Bhai, you having those memories? You ever thought you'll think of all that on a Krishna Janmashtami discourse? You standing on the last step of a bus, buttons open, eyes red, hand shaking, other shaking hand holding the bus rail, and one shaking hand pouring the beer in the mouth. Reed Bank bus. Kishore Bhai, remember those days? Okay, Kishore Bhai remembers. It's his day. Everyone have their day in the satsang. Today belongs to Kishore Bhai. Alright? So, when you are in this state of alcohol, what happens to you? How many personalities you take on? Natasha? How many personalities you take on?
Many.
2. The drunk person and the sober person. Drunk person and sober person. Okay. So, who is the real person?
The sober person.
Oh. Oh. Who is the real person? So if you are in a perpetual drunk state, how do you find the real person? Chitane? You're supposed to say when I sober. How do you find a real person that is perpetually drunk? When he or she. Now in this world there's more she's than he is. He is having a nip and getting drunk. She is having 2 bottles tequila cocktailed with B52 and chases and standing straight. Who? She. So we're talking about both he and
She.
She, right here. Don't get a she that. Okay? So to find your true self, when you are perpetually drunk, you need to sober. What does sober mean? No alcohol. What does sobriety mean? A sober
person.
life. Alright? So that will be self-realization of a drunk person. Alright? For a drunk person to realize his original self, he has to forego beer, cane, brandy, wine, whiskey. Any other major drinks I missed out? Rum, okay, went to rum. Okay? So when you forego all of these, then you find your sober self. There is a system called Alcoholics Anonymous, and there is a system called rehabilitation centers. What rehabilitation means? To bring you back to your
Normal self.
original
Self.
condition. Does not say finish the word?
Rehabilitation.
Rehabilitate. In front of habilitate is re. Re means to come back to
Yourself.
original
Self.
status. Original status is being sober. So you go to a rehab, and in the rehab you'll meet the chairperson or the superintendent who's in charge of the rehab. This person will tell you and give you rules on how to conduct yourself in the rehab, and you have to be subordinate to the person and the conformities of the rehabilitation center. So they'll tell you, this is visiting hours, there is absolutely no drinking here, and nobody is allowed to smuggle any type of alcohol for you. They will also tell you the benefits of sobering up. And they will refer you to a progressive sobriety group called the Alcoholics
Anonymous.
And they will give you a guru. They will give you a guru. He will be called your sponsor. The guru will be called your sponsor, and he'll be your guru for life. He will be your guru for life. So this guru will pick you up and take you to 90 meetings in a row. And he will guide and counsel you through this period. Because it's a very, very sensitive period, he will guide you and counsel you. You have to be submissive to this sponsor. If you do not be submissive to your sponsor and to the AA program as a whole, if you do not surrender to this program, if you do not submit to this program, and this program has a book called the Big Book. It has a book called the Big Book, and you have to comply with all of the instructions in the Big Book to be and stay sober. And every day you have to practice sobriety to be sober. It's an ongoing, daily, second per second practice. Second per second practice to realize your original self. And that is called self-realization. So in order for this self-realization, you have to be submissive to the program, or else you will fail. Now we have another illness, another drunkenness, but these are sober drunk people. So those of you that's going to get sober, you won't really be sober because there is another drunkenness. There is another drunkenness. And this drunkenness is called ignorance. This drunkenness is called ignorance. Now to get rid of this drunkenness and to attain your real identity, there is a big book. And that big book is called the Bhagavad Gita. That big book is called the Bhagavad Gita. And that drunkenness called ignorance, which 99.9% of the world is drunk with, to sober up from this drunkenness, Lord Sri Krishna has given you a sponsor called the Guru, and a rehabilitation called the ashram. Rehabilitation called the ashram. And the rules and regulations called the Vedas. Rules and regulations called the Vedas. You have to submit. Like if you want to remain sober, you have to submit to the sponsor of the AA and follow all AA rules and regulations and programs. Otherwise, you'll only be sober for 1 or 2 weeks, 1 or 2 months, and when you are sober, you'll say the AA is hundreds. Then because you did not diligently follow the AA program, you slipped and get drunk again. And when you get drunk, you say, those members in the AA, they think no one like them. And I left the AA. I'm drunk because of them. Alright? And whilst you're drinking, you never admitted that you drinking for yourself. Every drink you had, somebody upset you. Even the weather, it's a cold day today. Let's have a brandy. Every drink there's an excuse. Somebody died. You don't even know the person properly. You cry more than the closest family members when you go at the coffin. Who cried? Which you cried? Clever State Cemetery down here in Durban got more open boats. You'll think there's a boat sale, car boat sale. And in South Africa, every wedding, you run to the doll pot. And there is one common denominator in all of this drinking. My wife. My wife. And there is no one who drinks because of his dharam patni. They only drink because of their wife. And when they go to the bar, they'll see a fish cake in that bar every day. Same fish cake. And they'll buy it after 6 or 7 days. And they'll tell the barman, beautiful. Such a tasty fish cake. And when they go home, wife cooked a beautiful chicken curry. They won't eat. Then it's their children. Then it's their children. So first it was the wife, then it's the children. Then it's the wife's family, then it's the own family. Then one policeman gave him a ticket to that to now straight bottle store and must get drunk. What happened? Why are you depressed? No man, hey, I got a heavy ticket, 5,000 rand ticket over. And so a drinker never said, you know what, I love to drink. A drinker never admitted, I love to drink. Okay. Now we're in two worlds here. I don't want you to confuse these two worlds. So similarly, when I say this whole world is drunk with ignorance, ignorance is the demonic mentality. Ignorance is the demonic mentality. A demonic mentality will never say, I, through my previous karma, I am suffering this. No. My sister-in-law did it. My mother-in-law did it. And my neighbor did it. Alright? They will blame every single person but themselves. The day an alcoholic gets sober is the day he admits to himself and God that I am an alcoholic. I have no control over this drink. I now submit to a higher power, which is God, to assist me to get rid of my drinking, which I enjoy. I lied to you and everyone, God. Only when I came to Acharya Ji, then I realized you were sitting in my soul. I didn't know God sits in my soul. Sorry to have made you drunk for so many years. Sorry to have made Lord Narayan drunk for so many years. That's why sometimes when we phone him, we can't get hold of him. Because of all those people that makes Lord Narayan
Drunk.
Alright? The day you say that, from the next day, your recovery begins. From the next day, your recovery begins. Because no wife can ever make you drink. No child can ever make you drink. No circumstances can ever make you drink. You drink because you love to drink. Then let's go on to the next scenario. Let's go on to the next scenario. You admit to your Guru and God that I have come into your satsang with karma from my previous lifetime. I do not have the capacity to redeem my karmic destiny. From your teachings, I have learned that all the deficiencies in this lifetime has been created by myself. I submit to you in different processes. I hope one day I can be initiated by you into the system and all my karmas burn to ashes and I live a life of spirituality. That is called spirituality, where you admit, I am drunk out of my mind with anger. I am paralytically drunk with hatred. I am wobbling with jealousy and envy. And I am bubblast with pride. Acharya Ji, there is nothing wrong with my boss. There is nothing wrong with my mother. There is nothing wrong with my father. There is nothing wrong with anybody else. I am the cause of my own destiny. From today onwards, I surrender and submit to you so that you can take me out of this drunkenness called ignorance and make me be my original self again, which is the soul. And this is called self-realization from the body to the soul. So can you see Lord Krishna and the AA, spirituality and spirit. Nadira, can you see? Do you understand? Does it make sense? If you do not let go of your ignorance, can you ever become spiritual? And this is what happens, as happens to those that go to the AA and fall down. They blame the AA, they blame the wives, they blame the children, they blame everyone else. Similarly, those that come to this satsang. This is a spiritual realization center. Here, this big book works. Here, this big book works. And in this big book, it is stated to start the process of spirituality, you have to stop drinking anger, stop drinking hatred, stop drinking jealousy, then you'll be sober. You can't go in the side and have a beer. You can't exhibit any proportion of the 6 enemies and say that you are spiritual. The AA is one whole unit, and sobriety is one whole unit of principle. Similarly, self-realization is one whole unit. If you could not get sober in the Chatsworth branch of the AA, you won't get sober in the Phoenix branch of the AA. You're an alcoholic, that is your problem. Similarly, if you can't fix yourself in the Sri Narayan Dham, you won't fix yourself in ISKCON or the Ramakrishna Center. The principle is the same. No hatred, no anger, no jealousy, no greed, no envy, no lust. All this filth must come out of you. When you start looking for faults in your sponsor, you get drunk the next day in the AA. And when you start looking for faults in the Guru, you go back into your demonic state of ignorance. You can't go AA shopping for sobriety. Which place in the AA will make me more sober? Sobriety is sobriety. And spirituality is spirituality. If you can't get it here, you won't get it anywhere. You can't go spirituality hunting. But you can go demon hunting. There's brothels, there's shebeens, there's dens, you understand? But you cannot go spirituality hunting without the grace of a Guru. And you can't be an opportunist, because being an opportunist is a demonic quality. But what has all this got to do with Sri Krishna Janma Astami celebrations? Rishi? Rishi Bhai, how many wives do you think Lord Sri Krishna had?
Over 1,000.
16,800.
Rishi Bhai, if God can have so many wives, how many wives do you think Rishi Bhai should have legally?
Just one.
Hey. This is the real Rishi. This is the real Rishi. Just one wife. The other Rishi. Kishore, it's your day. Why Rishi is taking the spotlight? Azorbai? Lord Sri Krishna had 16,108 wives. And he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Narayan. How many wives do you want? Sorry?
You can't afford to live with one these days.
Who said that? Ashok, I'm keeping you for later. After 5 satsangs, it will only be your name. Alright? Okay, Ashok Bhai, you can come into the game. Alright? You can't look after one, you say. Or you say generally mankind. I don't know, you mean personal or general?
General.
General. Okay? So if you know, I said Indians like, when you introduce an Indian to anyone, an Indian says, how's the contact? So I'm contacting you to Lord Sri Krishna and I'm saying, he has 16,108 wives by. How many would you like to have?
One is enough.
So you saying you got 16,108 wives in one. Your sister-in-law laughed, alright? I don't know, maybe she had 16,108 sisters in one. Okay? So this is why Lord Narayan comes down timelessly and he enacts his leelas so that we can sit in a satsang and discuss his leelas and uplift our miserable life. He comes in his designated time frames. He came as Lord Ram, then he came as Lord Sri Krishna, but his teachings is for all time. His teaching is for all time. Why did he marry 16,108 wives? Sorry, Dharam?
Patni.
Patnis. He didn't marry wives. He married Dharam?
Patni.
Patnis. So in order to find this out, where are we going to get this answer? Which is the most authoritative text in the Vedas? Upanishads. And in which Upanishad we have to find out information about Lord Sri Krishna?
Krishna.
In the Krishna Upanishad. And in the Krishna Upanishad it is stated that he married 16,100 verses of the Upanishad, personified as 16,100 wives. And what is the significance of marrying the Upanishads? The wife have to be conformist of Vedic injunctions. And that is why the wife is called Dharam
Patni.
Patni. She must be the personification of the Vedas itself. Who is showing this? Lord Sriman Narayan. And what he is saying? That the wives must follow within the parameters of the Upanishads. And then you can marry them. You think he's saying that, Shalan? You think God do things willy-nilly, or every act of his is absolute?
Absolutely.
So those of you that are not married, Rahil, you must marry the Upanishads. Meet a girl, you ask her what's her first name or surname. Either name must be Upanishad. Because if you don't marry a Upanishad, then your life is a living hell. Life is a living hell. And this is why you have to marry a Upanishad. Rishabhai gave a beautiful smile. Rishabhai married a Upanishad? Which one? There's 108 Upanishads.
First one.
Rishabhai is sharp. Shalen, did you have a discussion with him? Because this is just down Shalen's line. Alright? Praise the wife in satsang. Shalen, he was the first wife praiser in satsang. Okay, now you got Rishabhai. Again, I want this to sink in. I want this to sink in. Lord Sri Krishna married 16,100 verses of the Upanishads. The Upanishads is the end portion of the Vedas. What is the purpose of the end portion of the Vedas? To take you from which state to which state? To take you to self-realization. To take you to self-realization. But what are most wives doing? Taking you to portal realization. What realization?
Portal.
But wives supposed to take you to
Self-realization.
And we have to state these things in satsang. We have to state the absolute truth in every satsang. We have to state the absolute truth in every satsang. If the truth is not digestible to you, it is whose problem? A guru must not gather devotees pleasing the temperament of the devotees. A guru must gather devotees pleasing the temperament of Lord Sriman Narayan. Of Lord Sriman Narayan. And this is why I was going to extend this hall. And then I decided not to extend it. I bought blocks to double the size of this hall. And I decided as long as I speak the truth, this hall will never be full. Hall will never be full. Because the truth is like a red hot
Iron.
sword. Double-edged sword. With jagged ends. And it's a spinning red hot double-edged jagged sided sword. So it goes in, it turns around, and it tears apart the lies. And some people do not have enough melting stitches, and they don't come back, because that lie is a treasure they've been keeping from many lifetimes. If you're a liar in that lifetime, you'll be a liar in this lifetime. And especially if you're a liar in this lifetime, you'll be a liar in
Next life.
there's Tivashni. Ask her. She's the master of every type of activity in the universe. Even Mother Durga is envious of her. Alright? So when the Guru pushes his sword of absolute truth into your baggage of lies and rips it apart, you won't want to come back. But unfortunately, the Guru's job is to continue piercing the sword of absolute truth into you. If you come back, you go to Vaikuntha. And if you don't, you continue human, snake. Well, most of my devotees will be snakes. Most will land up being snakes, because they come in as snakes, they hide. Then when the sword pierces them, they become snakes again. Ashok Bhai, you don't like sharks? Some of my devotees became sharks. Alright? So, it is not easy being a guru. It is not easy to be a guru, because people do not understand what is the function of a guru. People think you come in the satsang, Guru touch your head, all life's problem is gone, and you live a blissful life. Isn't it? No. Guru must touch your head, the software in your head. The software in the head that is full of virus. This virus is carried on from many, many lifetimes. When you tape something with a virus, what happens to the virus? It spread on to the next. So you have children, and the children also have virus. And this virus is continuing. This virus is called ignorance. And the Guru must touch your software, remove the virus, and what will happen to your computer?
Start cleaning.
Will get
Cleaned up.
Cleaned. If you don't want your computer to be cleaned because you love that filth you've been carrying for how long? Many lifetimes. If you're an opportunist in this lifetime, you were an opportunist in your last lifetime. Because you never clear that behavior in your last lifetime, You came with it in
This life.
this lifetime. How you got it in your last lifetime? Because it wasn't cleared in the
Previous
lifetime.
lifetime.
So you carrying that same filth for 155 trillion?
Yes.
Yes. And that is your gold. You are holding on to the gold of ignorance with all your might. And when the Guru say, leave your anger, leave your lust, leave your arrogance, you defending and you holding that gold. And you blaming everyone else for your miserable condition. Isn't? When you come to the Guru, does the conversation between you and the Guru, who is the initiator of the transaction between you and the Guru? Who makes a requisition? Does the Guru request your problems to him, or you submit your problems to the Guru?
Submit our problem.
Guru is sitting here quietly, isn't? He's given his discourse. When you come in for blessings, there is a transaction between you and the Guru, of which you are the initiator. You sought the assistance. You sought the assistance. Can you see any policeman anywhere around here? Paddy? Outside, you want to go one round, I'll wait for you. Send Natasha to the camera. No policeman? So you are free here in the satsang? You're free to have a conversation. Nobody is forcing you into anything. If you are here for more than a year, and then you realized you've been forced, after you failed, then are you an intelligent person or a retarded person?
Retarded.
Retarded. If you spend more than a year with the Guru, if you go onto platforms praising your Guru, and then you realize that something is wrong with your Guru, then you are
Retarded.
retarded. Can a retarded person's view be seriously taken by anyone?
No.
Tana? Retarded person's view can never be taken by anyone because the view itself is retarded. The person is retarded. The view is also retarded. The accusations will also be retarded. Because the intelligent person just needs to find one satsang. How many satsang?
One.
One. And don't come back. Don't you think? But if you was in the engine room of the satsang, you came in the satsang and you did everything in the satsang, and then you realize that there is something wrong with the satsang, you have to be retarded. And I said yesterday, if you are in one dimension and you say these things today, and if you are in another dimension and you say contradictory things tomorrow, then it's called bipolar. And bipolar is a mental retardation. Anyone who is bipolar is mentally retarded, because bipolar affects the mind. Mental retard is mental illness. And if you are mentally ill, where is the absolute truth? The absolute truth will only be attained if you have purified your senses. Do you understand? But like the alcoholic, these demonic mentality people do not want to give up their drinking. And then they go back to the drinking and blame the AA, the sponsor, all the other AA members that are sober, they're living well. All that affects the demonic mentality. Because the demonic mentality does not like to see peace, purity, happiness. These things cannot last in a person with demonic mentality. Because demonic mentality people want to see destruction, chaos everywhere. Isn't? When bad things are happening, how happy a demonic person is. And when good things are happening, they turn their back. So Lord Sri Krishna takes his birth timelessly at the end of every Dwapara Yuga, so that you and I can understand our demonic mothers, our demonic fathers, our demonic brothers, our demonic sisters, our demonic wives, our demonic husbands, our demonic family. Everything starts in the family. The demon is not there, Kishore. I told you, with big eyes, red eyes. That's not the demon. Demon is a human being with a negative mindset. Alright? So why did Lord Sri Krishna marry 16,108 wives? Because he is God, he is absolutely pure. And if he marry the Vedas, which is absolutely pure, will he ever have to go to the AA? Wives, from today we'll call you Upanishads. I'm even gone higher than Sri Acharya. He said, from wives to Dharam Patnis, and from today I'm calling you Upanishads. From the 108 Upanishads, come to me and tell me which Upanishad you want to be. Alright? So let's see if God lives what he instructs. So the Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10 is all about Lord Sri
Krishna.
And Canto 11. Canto 10 and Canto 11 is dedicated to Lord Sri Krishna. The entire Srimad Bhagavatam itself is a dedication to Lord Sriman Narayan. Entire Srimad Bhagavatam is a dedication to Lord Sriman Narayan. The 10th and 11th canto is a dedication to the incarnation of Lord Sriman Narayan in the form of Lord Sri
Krishna.
Krishna. So this I'm clearing now in the Western world, and I think whoever is confused. The Srimad Bhagavatam was never written for Lord Sri Krishna himself. It was written for Lord Sri Narayan. Canto 10 and Canto 11 is a dedication to Lord Sri Krishna. And that is the absolute truth. Okay? So let us read a verse. You think I'll find the verse? Okay. Who appeared with Lord Sri Krishna as the elder brother? Balra. Alright? So, Canto 10, chapter 45, text 31 states, concealing their innately perfect knowledge by their human-like activities, those two omniscient lords of the universe, themselves the origin of all branches of knowledge, next desired to reside at the school of a spiritual master. Thus they approached Sandipan Muni, a native of Kasi, living in the city of Avanti. Text 32. Sandipani thought very highly of these two self-controlled disciples, whom he had obtained so fortuitously. By serving him as devotedly as one would serve the Supreme Lord himself, they showed others an irreproachable example of how to worship the Supreme or the spiritual master. I want to read this verse again, and I want all of you to listen very, very attentively. Sandipani thought very highly of these two self-controlled disciples. Who is Sandipani? He is the Guru. And who are these disciples?
Balram.
Lord Sri Krishna and
Balram.
Lord Balram. Verse number, the second sentence in this text 32. By serving him as devotedly as one would serve the Supreme Lord himself, comma, they showed others an irreproachable example of how to worship the spiritual master. Who did not understand this verse? God, Lord Sriman Narayan, incarnated as Lord Sri Krishna on this earth. He also manifested in his form as Sankarsana. Lord Narayan in his form as Vasudeva, incarnated as Lord Sri Krishna, and in his form as Sankarsana as Balram. So Lord Narayan takes two forms. Then these two forms on earth go and look for a Guru. God in two forms look for a Guru. And they go and they treat the Guru as and worship the Guru as one would worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead him. Who taught this? Who taught this concept?
God.
Lord Narayan himself. And this is how significant a guru is. Lord Narayan has never worshipped a Devi or,
Devta.
but he worshipped
Guru.
the Guru. Do you understand how serious the Guru-disciple relationship is? And it is unfortunate that these demons in Kali Yuga, they do not value the Guru as the Guru is supposed to be valued as per the valuations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is why Dana, you see these people that live here. Today Dana saw a huge swollen face which he could not recognize, but he only recognized the car. You understand? Because this is serious business. This business is ordained by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You can touch God, God will forgive you. Don't touch His pure devotee. Don't touch His pure devotee. Otherwise your life will be a perpetual misery. Nobody that left here is progressing that attacked this system. Those that left quietly, they still got the Guru's grace. But those that attacked this system, go and check. Go and check and research. And I'm saying this on Sri Krishna Janmashtami. Do not disrespect not only this Guru, any Guru in the world. Do not disrespect a Guru. It is an offense. It is a very serious offense. You cannot take a Guru and then leave him. You cannot take a Guru and then leave him. It is a Vedic injunction. If you take a Guru, then you have to stick on the path through thick and thin. And if any Guru advises you that you can leave your initiated Guru, then that Guru does not belong to Sanatan Dharma and he does not know Vedanta. You understand? So if you are of a demonic mentality, you'll find a similar Guru who will give you that type of information. A bona fide spiritual master will tell you, go back to your Guru and suffer the consequences. Ask him for forgiveness and be graced by him. Because Lord Shiva says in the Guru Gita that if Lord Shiva is angry with you, the Guru can save you. But if the Guru is angry with you, not even Lord Shiva can save you. Who says this?
Lord Shiva.
Lord Shiva himself. So this Guru system, if it is so highly revered and respected by Lord Narayan himself, then who are you and me to mess around with this system? And I'm reading the subsequent verse now. Subsequent verse means the next verse. And also listen very attentively to this verse. Text 33. The best of the Brahmanas, the spiritual master, Sandipani, was satisfied with their submissive behavior, and thus he taught them the entire Vedas together with the 6 sub-Vedas and the Upanishads. Which means that if God himself was not submissive, what does the word submissive mean? To conform not with the parts of the rules and regulation that satisfy you. The parts of the rules and regulation that satisfies the Guru. Because it is saying that best of Brahmanas, the spiritual master Sandipani, was satisfied with their submissive behavior, and thus he taught them the entire Vedas and the Upanishads. So the Guru's satisfaction is of paramount importance in the Guru-disciplic relationship, and not your satisfaction. God had to satisfy the Guru. God had to submit to the Guru before he could be taught the Vedas. So who are you and I? Who are you and I? So when you come to this satsang, the Guru must be satisfied, not you. And when the Guru is satisfied, Nilendra, then you'll be satisfied. Is there logic in what is being said? Is the Guru making this up? This is from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 45, Text 33, written and translated by Swami Srila Prabhupada. You understand? So I hope you take both the scenarios, the AA and the ignorance scenario. Sober up both ways. Sober up both ways and find your true self. Find your true self. For within this ignorance and within drunkenness, when a person gives up his drinking, a pure person resides inside. A strict person resides inside. A clean person resides inside. For when a man sobers up, all the dimensions must be clean, neat and tidy. He may come behind your fridge and see what you've been hiding in the back for about 20 years. Rishivad? Alright? If a man does that, and if a man becomes strict, and if he enforces strictness, is he a good man or a bad man?
Good man.
He's a good man. He's a good man because he's enforcing all of this for who? For you. Okay? So when a man becomes sober, he becomes regulative. He becomes neat, he starts looking for cleanliness first. In every aspect. Alright? And similarly, when you go through self-realization in the Bhagavad Gita, you start looking for inner cleanliness. Inner cleanliness. It's natural because it is the constitutional position of the soul to be absolutely clean. Absolutely clean. It is the position of the soul. So hidden in both dimensions is a pure person. covered by drunkenness and covered on the other end by ignorance. Remove drunkenness, remove ignorance, the personality inside is absolutely pure. And that's who every one of you seated here are. Every one of you in here. It's just that you don't know it. You are like that pure coconut water. And the Guru have to bust the shell. Alright? Sometimes the Guru have to open the third eye on the coconut. Well, some people will be better off marrying the coconut. Jai Shri Narayan.